Good morning, Starseeds. Isis Mal Ra, Trans Caravan. This is going to be the closing video for shadow work on sexual trauma. It's been rough getting this video out. The devil entered my family over this. There's someone in the family kind of attacking my side of the family for the videos that have been put out. We're trying to deal with that. The other person in the family was triggered. They have their own traumas to deal with, and I think they're just kind of mirroring and reflecting it because they don't want to deal with their own. So if that person is watching right now, I would say to go inward, do the shadow work, look at the traumas that have gone on in your own household before throwing stones at someone else. So closing this video off, how I healed what I have learned from my traumas. For one, I will say therapy definitely helped. I discovered, well, first, I said I had 7 years of trauma. I actually only remembered at first from 12 to 14 was the trauma I was actually in counseling for. I actually bought a pack of cigarettes for this. Trying to quit. So, as I'm in therapy, dealing with the trauma that I knew about, I start talking to my grandmother, my mother about therapy, what I'm learning, all this. So I'm having a conversation with my grandmother, and we're talking about me healing and all this. And she says, that was not the first time. Don't you remember me having to call you out of the woods at 7, 8 years old? Now, when she said this, she triggered something, and a memory unlocked in my brain of me running out of a house into the woods, burying myself in leaves, and going to sleep. Which is why I discovered I love the woods. It's my recharge spot. I go there to let things go. I go there to recharge. Now, after finding this out, I bring this up in therapy. And we start a therapy. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's like eye rapid. It has to do with like your eyes and tapping, touch, like a vibration. So we were doing that to unlock that memory. Now, I have always been all natural. I stopped doing pharmaceutical medications because of the side effects. I had a lot of bad reactions. I was hospitalized 9 times for suicide attempts while on medication. So I was off meds 10 years straight, like no drugs. After unlocking this memory, admittedly, I had to go on medication, and it did help. I was not able to process the new information that I had discovered when I was 7 years old. Now, while on medication and going into therapy, doing that, it's like a half in, half out hypnosis where you are sent back and relive it. That is the therapy I did. So after reliving it and finding out the first trauma that I had blocked out because I could not process it at that age, shadow work. Went in, discovered it, and we healed through that. After finding out what happened, I was able to address it. Now, went through all that, healed that, coming to forgiveness and moving forward. Forgiveness, like I said, I learned at 38. Very recently, 38, like going on 3-4 years ago. Now, I've went to forgiving my family. It got to a point where you have to be okay with accepting the apology you will never get. Now, I got to a point where I forgave my family, my mother. Had a conversation with both grandmother and mother, sat them down, talked to them, what I've learned, how I forgave them. It's gotten to a point where my mother doesn't even remember me forgiving her. So it's going back to where I said forgiveness is for you. The other person is not really affected by it. They have a different memory of it, if any. So me learning to accept the apology I would never get because she doesn't even remember is hard. But like I said, it's for you. You let that energy go. Now, I have even forgiven the person who did what they did. They, I'm sure, might have had sexual trauma in their own life. I don't know. But I've learned to forgive for myself. Now, how I forgave my parents and family. My parents were very young when they had me. They were in their early 20s. Now, taking yourself away from the trauma and seeing it from a different perspective is where I learned your parents have their own traumas to deal with. And them being young parents and the trauma that had showed up, I learned to accept that they were young parents and they didn't know what to do. They had the fear in my mind. This is how I got over it and learned forgiveness. If they would have gone to the authorities or something, and they could have lost all 3 of their children because it was a back and forth kind of thing. It was happening to more than one person. So I accepted their fears and their decisions. Though I may not agree with them, that was their decision to make. Kids don't come with a manual, and life throws you curves and you just ride through it. Chariot card. Go through the chaos. Don't know how you're going to make it through, but you make it through. Your parents' job is to get you through, get you out of the house. You are going to have traumas from your childhood. We all do. Otherwise we'd stay with our parents forever. Nobody wants to do that. You want to get out on your own, get away from your parents, live your own life, move on. Moving on. Like I said, me having these past videos talking about my trauma, I have moved on from it, but because of my story, other people in my family have their triggers from their traumas. And I'm kind of getting the backlash of that. Though I'm not, this is even happening in another state. I'm in Connecticut. I have family in Florida that's going a little cuckoo. But I can't worry about that. I am worrying about my immediate family and how they are dealing with this. So me and my mother are fine. We are okay with this. We are talking about it. She's telling me to do this last video, which is why this one has taken so long to get out. I was just going to switch to the tarot, start doing the zodiacs, but I have to close this out, this trauma, this shadow work, and tell you that you can heal. It is for you. Do not worry about the outer circumstances of your healing. You may cause some ripples. You probably will. There's going to be people that are going to have something to say. Judgment. If you remember the other readings, everybody judges. It is a part of life. As long as you could learn from your traumas and move forward, don't worry about what other people think. That is how I am going to close this one out and end this shadow session on sexual trauma. Now, Stay tuned. Friday, I am starting the Zodiacs. I am going to start with Cancer. I don't know the order I'm going to do right now. I've been looking at the analytics for my page, and the top searches are Cancer, Pisces, Libra, and Aquarius. Friday, I will be doing Cancer, and then I might do Pisces after that, and then we'll see what happens. But until then, love and light, star seeds. Stay bright, stay strong, and live in your truth. And don't care what others think. Have a good one. Love you, star seeds. Bye.